All right, Matt, what's up, buddy? Nice to see
How are
you.
you? What's going on? How's everything?
How much? It's good. It's good. It's been a while since we've obviously been able to connect in person, but this is Matt Cupido. This is a guy that I have known for many, many years. We actually go back, way back into Mohawk College health, wellness, and fitness days, years and years ago. But Matt has been kind enough to spend some time with me today, and I'm going to talk to him a little bit about what he does as a golf professional. I'm going to talk to him about how fitness can relate to that, and hopefully going to bring all the people who watch this video a lot of great content and value. Before we get started, I want to say one thing. So Matt and I go back way back. So Matt and I went to school together over a decade ago, so years ago, and in Brantford, Ontario, home of Wayne Gretzky, if people don't know that. But what Matt was part of something that I did when I was earlier in my career that was one of the best things I ever did, and I got a championship ring. And so this is a national championship ring that I got for training Matt's basketball team. And Matt was on the team, and Matt was one of the guards, and they won all of Canada. And that was 2012, right?
Yeah,
it was 2012.
On St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, 2011, 2012. And I was
Yeah.
fortunate enough to get a ring because I helped train them. But Matt was on that team. So that was one cool connection that we had that I thought was cool to bring up on here. Do you still have that ring? Do you wear that ring?
Man, I put on some weight since we won that ring. So the ring doesn't really fit that well. But every once in a while, like I have it on my shelf. It's always right there. Every once in a while, I pull it out and look at it. I'm always in contact with a few guys still. And every time I see a few of them, we're always chatting about it and good stories and stuff like that. So
oh, for sure.
That was a heck of a year, man. That was a ton of fun.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And I keep this in the gym. Next time you come over, it's in the gym. It's in the gym. Okay. Well, I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was a cool story and a cool intro to kind of set the stage. So Matt, just tell us a little bit about who you are, your background, why you got into golf, and why you love kind of being involved in the golf industry.
Yeah. So for those who don't know who I am, my name is Matt Cupido. I'm from Hamilton, Ontario. I've golfed since I was 4 years old, 3 years old. I'm pretty sure as soon as I could start walking, my dad put a golf club in my hand. I'm from a family of golfers. So it's something I always played growing up. I was always very much into sports. I played baseball, football, basketball, obviously. I was lucky enough to play at the collegiate level. And then from there, once that ended, I needed something to stay competitive with, something to keep my mind focused. And golf for me was that. During college, I'd worked in the industry a little bit, and I'd always enjoyed it. I always enjoyed being around like-minded people. It was one of my favorite things about being working at a golf course. So, I wasn't really into it. I had hummed and hawed about getting into golf. And then when I moved out to Banff, Alberta, to work at the Fairmont, Banff Springs, I absolutely fell in love with the industry. And it's pretty easy to do. If you haven't been there and you're a golfer, please put it on your bucket list. If there's one place you have to go, it is the Fairmont Banff Springs in Banff, Alberta. But it was something I really enjoyed interacting with people about. I got to share something I'm passionate about with other people, and I got to meet people from around the world who share that same passion. So for me, it kind of became a no-brainer. Like, this is something I love to do. This is something I am passionate about. And I had a friend a few years ago tell me, find what you're passionate about and just find a way to make a career out of it. And that always stuck with me right away. And that's something I did. So I jumped into it. I worked my butt off for my PhD, and it was two of the best rounds of golf I've ever played, which was cool. But now I'm kind of transitioning into the lessons, which is something very new for me. Again, I was really worried, scared, something new. But I really enjoy doing my lessons because, again, I get to share my passion with people who want to be there, who want to get better. And that's probably the best part about it. And everything's been going really well right now. So it's been really, really good.
That's amazing. And that's very transferable to what I do too, right? I mean, I'm very passionate about fitness, and I mean, it's easy to work with people when you're passionate about what you're doing and you enjoy what you're doing, and that enthusiasm comes out, right? And I'm sure your clients feel that when you work with them. Yeah, that's great.
So I feel like I'm like a super, super outgoing coach. I see, I float around and I follow a few, there's some really, really knowledgeable people out there on Instagram.
Of course, yeah.
But I'm like, we're searching for that that holy cow moment, right? Like you hit that one shot where it's like, okay, we can do this. And then we're both able to celebrate and really, really enjoy that moment. It's always my favorite part of every lesson.
For sure, for sure. No, that's great. So when did so you just started doing the lessons the last couple of years. So whereabouts do you do your lessons out of? Like where do you do these lessons?
So right now, I do some, obviously, like I'm the assistant pro right at Glendale Golf Country Club. So I do some work there with members. I also started my own business just for the lessons. I do that out of Willow Valley Golf Course out in Mount Hope there, out by the Hamilton Airport, which they've been really, really good to me. So it's been good there. And then transitioning into the off season, the winter, I will be doing all of my lessons out of Fore Stagione Pizzeria and Golf Bar. They have 2 TrackMan simulators in there. So I started doing some lessons out of there last winter as well. And they're going really well. TrackMan's top of the line stuff. And do pretty much everything you need to know. You can't hide from the TrackMan.
No, for sure. And I've been in there with you a couple of times and it's gorgeous in there. And obviously it's a great environment in a restaurant. Like you're not going anywhere where it's in a dark, dungy place or anything like that. And no, that's amazing that we can continue to work through the winter now in Canada. Obviously for many years, it was a lot harder to do that, but no, that's awesome. And Willow Valley is obviously a great practice facility there. There's lots of good areas there that you can work on your game. Glendale is obviously a nice private course in Hamilton as well. If you've never heard of Glendale, and that's actually where I hope to be a member one day because it's only 5 minutes from my house. But not yet. I gotta wait till my kids are a bit older. So you said you played other sports growing up. So I know you played basketball. Like I know your basketball history, and obviously basketball is very transferable to golf because it's a very powerful sport. You need to have good vertical jump ability. You need to be speedy. You need to be quick. And that is so transferable to golf. But do you think that any of your other attributes that you got from playing sports as a kid have kind of come into your athletic ability as now that you're an adult playing sports or playing golf?
I think so. For me, I wasn't always the greatest athlete on the floor.
Okay.
But I could always think my way through a game. I learned about the game. So I always became very aware of why did something not work? Why did something work? Yeah. And I try to transfer that into my lessons, which I think, and in my own game too, which I think made me a better golfer. Right. So aside from, how many fairways did I hit? How many greens did I hit? How many putts? Okay, hang on, my ball, like I'm just kind of turning it over a little left to right today. And I don't normally do that. So I'm able to think my way through and be in the moment to kind of understand a little bit of why things are going a certain way. And I try and challenge my clients. Same thing. I tell them every time. I tell them 3 things. I say, we're going to hit bad shots. I'm not going to get upset about it. I don't need you to be upset about it.
Yeah.
If I'm ever explaining something and it doesn't make sense, cut me off in the middle of it. And I said, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to start asking questions and there's no wrong answers. So that way, kind of the goal as an instructor, as a coach is I don't want to see you every 5 days. I want you to go out. I want you to be able to, okay, hang on. Why did that ball go left? Right. So you start challenging people. So I think a lot of what I learned growing up playing, football, baseball, all that kind of stuff transfers into now my own game where I can kind of start using what I've learned and how I approach certain situations or whatever it may be during a game. And okay, where can we go from here? How do we learn from that kind of thing?
I think that's great. I mean, and you've put yourself obviously in these stressful situations like championship games or being put under pressure. And I think that's obviously so relatable to golf. I mean, if you ask anybody who plays golf, they feel more pressure than probably any other sport on that first tee.
Man, it is wild. So like I don't play many tournaments. The goal of mine is to play more going forward, just for my own competitiveness. But there's really nothing like competitive golf that I've experienced. I'm just speaking for myself here. Like you said, like I've been in a national title game. That year we won the OCW championships. Humber had 2 shots at hitting a 3 to knock us out, and we don't even get national with under 10 seconds left. Like that is stressful.
Oh
but
yeah.
You got your coaches, you got your teammates, you have that support system around you, right?
Yeah.
You can always talk yourself way through it. With golf, like I always found, being in those stressful situations, you got to really, really figure out where that happy medium is. I had a coach a bunch of years ago, never let your highs get too high and your lows get too low. And I found like, when it comes to competitive golf, that is the biggest thing. You
Well,
make a birdie, go to the next tee. If you make a bogey, go to the next tee. Just carry on and move forward.
And I think that's a great point. I mean, and that's why they say DJ is so good, right? He's just always even keeled. He's never, you don't see him get happy or mad. He's just always the same.
Under or 8 over.
Yeah, you never know, right? You never know. But I think that's great what you said there. And I mean, that actually almost kind of, I was talking about like your coaching philosophy is kind of the next question I was going to ask you. But I think you almost kind of hit that on the nail there, where you're really trying to instill into your clients and your athletes that they understand their own body and they understand their own misses, so they can kind of react to that on the course, right?
Totally. And it's about understanding the way we can move as well. Like if you come to me and, my goal definitely during the season isn't to change your swing. We only have X amount of time in Canada to play golf during the season, right? Yeah. So I'm not trying to put you through a swing change in the middle of August.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I'm just, we'll work on a few things. Let's get you playing a little bit better golf and we can kind of go from there. But I think the biggest thing is understanding how we move. I've had people come to me and they say they hit this nice little cut or like a little pull cut, right? And I go, okay, that's great. And well, I want to hit a draw. Okay. Well, and I'm a very honest coach too. I'm not, I don't have to be brutally honest, but I try to keep it real, I guess.
Yeah.
But, if you struggle to move in a sense where that, the cut is for you, let's not change it. Right? Let's just go with that. And if you want to hit that draw, well, that's going to take a process, and that's going to take, something from like you, where it's like mobility workouts and, all that kind of stuff, where you get your body in a little bit better shape to be able to move that way.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Right. Well,
I think that's great as a coach too, that you're realistic. Like, I think that there's too many people out there providing false hope to people. Like, yeah, I'll get you swinging like Rory, or I'll get you swinging like DJ. And like,
you want to hit it like the pros?
Yeah. You need to move like the pros.
That's the biggest thing, man. That's the biggest thing.
Well, and all those guys are putting significant time in the gym in every single week. And I think that's a lot of the difference between your average golfer and your elite golfer. Is your elite golfer understands the importance of that, and your average golfer thinks that the importance should be placed only on the skill set. And I think that it has to be a combination of both, right?
100%, right? And it's interesting to bring that up. I work with a gentleman who's just kind of started out his pro career, and we kind of had a really cool talk the other day. And he's had a good season, but not a great season by his standards. So he's kind of trying to narrow in now on, how can I kind of save my season and prep myself better for next season. And we started talking about, like, he's had a few injuries and he didn't really change his diet for those injuries. Sorry. Right. So like, man, my joints are inflamed, but I'm eating stuff that is inflammatory, right? Like that doesn't help it. I'm not doing the stuff the night before where it's, just whether it be stretching or mobility workout. Right. So it was a really, really cool conversation we had, where it was just more geared towards, I'm not doing the little things outside of the driving range or on the course
that are going to help
that better professional that I need to be. I mean, it's your full-time job, right? If you want to play professional golf,
100%.
Like the average amateur golfer doesn't have all the time, trunk slammers. Sometimes if you can only get out once a week with your buddies, it's flying out of the office and getting to the course, grabbing your clubs, tying your shoes on the first tee. And I love that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, if that's how you play golf and enjoy the game, good for you.
Yeah, right?
Enjoy the game, right? Enjoy the game. I think that's great. Okay, I think we've kind of hit the first kind of 4 or 5 questions just kind of there that we talked about. I mean, just chatting. And that's kind of what I thought was going to happen here too. So that's great. Okay, so who do you, like, we've talked a little bit about why you got into golf, kind of what other sports you played. Who do you look up to in terms of coaching in golf, and who has kind of helped you in the golf world?
In terms of coaching, I think now so I used to be the guy on Instagram when I started out, right? I had 1,500 people I followed, and I'm looking at every single coach and what they do. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm thinking of all these different philosophies from different coaches. So as far as like the social media side goes, Scott, I've done his courses, his certification courses, which have been amazing. I remember being in the first one during one of the lockdowns, and we were about 5 minutes in, and I was just like, do I even belong belong here.
Yeah.
He's just so knowledgeable, and he's just so good.
Yeah.
So I've done that. I really like to follow, like everybody follows him, but I really enjoy like George Gankis.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
He's very simple. He has a really cool way of just explaining things without using, big, large words.
Yeah.
Some instructors try to get into, which just isn't for me. That's
For
the way
sure.
to teach.
For sure.
That's fine. But I also like to look at, coaches like Nick Saban. Like, what do they do? Right?
Mhm.
Like, I'm not trying to be as intense as Nick Saban, but you can learn, like, the guy's won a 5 or 6, 7, 8 national titles now.
Mhm.
And every year it's the same interview. We're going to enjoy this for the next 24 hours.
And
And,
that's it.
get back to work tomorrow. Right.
Yeah.
So you try and find, and, he's got a lot of little nice little sayings. Like he had one last year where, to be great, it takes what it takes.
Yeah. I like that.
It's really that simple.
Yeah.
And like, I thought about it for a second and I went, oh yeah, that's extremely simple. And it's one of the best things I've ever heard. Right.
That reminds me so much of Tim Grover. Like, that's just like relentless.
Getting into Tim Grover. I think I was telling you this.
Yeah. I recommended you that book years ago.
I know. I'm more just starting getting to the reading side now.
Yeah.
I started watching a bunch of Tim, and I've always known Tim Grover, right?
For sure. Of course.
All those guys. But now I'm just like, I started watching all these YouTube videos and like all this stuff. And like, the way he thinks is just so amazing. And like, little sayings where it's like, I remember watching a video where he's like, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's garbage.
Yeah,
and
but it's like,
and I like jokingly say that all the time, and I'm like, I'm cheating myself this whole time, right? Like stuff like that.
Oh, I love the saying. Yeah, go ahead.
I always get kind of try and look around, and even like when watching golf, listening to announcers who personally I don't always agree with when watching golf.
Of course.
I get it; it's a TV show at that point. But just listening to like little things about their past experiences, or guys in certain situations, like why would they play a certain shot, stuff like that. So I don't know if there's one specific person or multiple coaches or anything like that. I kind of take a lot from everybody. And especially if you look at a guy like Greg Popovich.
Yeah.
Why has he been so successful for so long? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Did he build this great, plan? Does he have this great system that just really was so solid that it just really never broke, and he had the right people in there, stuff like that. So I'm always asking questions on why are people great? Why is that 1% in the 1%? What are they doing?
Yeah.
Right. So it's just not inside of golf, but especially outside of golf as well. There's so many people that I kind of look up to and try and, see what they do and what can I take from that, and how can I apply that to not only my lessons, but just my own individual development as well.
No, and I think that's great. And I think that's great that you name people outside of golf too, because I mean, everyone knows how to coach in a different way. And I mean, we can take stuff from everyone, whether if they're golf, basketball, whatever. Right. So I think that was great. Good stuff, man. All right. So what would you tell young golfers to focus on in their development in the gym and on the course? So if you could tell a young golfer, a junior golfer, so a lot of my audience actually is junior golfers.
Okay.
So I haven't really told you this, but I've been training a bunch of junior golfers in the States recently. So I train them virtually and it's going well. So a ton of young junior golfers. But like, what would you tell somebody that's, let's say, between 8 and 13, a young junior golfer, that they need to work on the course and need to work on in like their physical attributes?
Yeah. So I think the first thing I tell anybody, to be honest, around the 8, 13, 45, 50, have fun, right? It's at the end of the day, right? It's a game, right? Mm-hmm. Like, like I'm always like, this game drives me crazy. I find I never call it a sport. Is it a sport? Yes. But I always call it a game or whatever. Yeah. So have fun. That's number one. That's always going to be number one.
Yeah.
But I think at that age, for sure, especially on the gym side, I think it's really important to develop an understanding of foundation on why we're using the gym. How can this be an advantage 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? As opposed to somebody who's not starting in the gym that young. Mm-hmm. I think nutrition is definitely a big one, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can go in the gym and do whatever you want, but if your nutrition, especially at that age, because they're growing still and everything.
Of course.
Right. So I think it's a good time to learn, right? Stuff like that. I think a lot of us end up learning about nutrition way too late. I think especially people like our generation, it's not really something we fully thought of.
No, not till later for sure.
I can tell you high school and college, my nutrition was on the back burner.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, I'm running 6 days a week.
What does it matter? Yeah.
Exactly, right. But
Yeah.
then, you obviously take what you know now.
Yeah.
And all that. So, but I mean, those would be the two biggest things. Have an understanding of why you're doing makes sense down the road.
I love it. Yeah.
Because, even when I started training, it was a bit later in my teens. Okay, why am I doing this little drill? Why am I constantly doing this little, whether it's a speed drill, to get those fast twitch muscles going. I don't shy into just weightlifting, like, especially with fitness, you can, boxing's really good. I know a lot of golfers that have started, doing boxing, incorporating boxing into their workouts because you're getting that fast twitch muscle, stuff like that. And then as far as on the golf course goes, one thing I find people lack, especially at a younger age, is course management.
Nice. That's not what I expected to hear. So I like that. Yeah.
Right. So I think, if, you can develop a way to, once they're more comfortable out there, and it doesn't need to be a strict, like, okay, boom, let's go teach you course management. No,
Yeah.
we're going to play 9 holes. We're going to have some fun. And again, I'm going to ask you, I don't care if you're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 40, whatever. I'm going to ask you, okay, well, if we can't get there, so let's just call an example, 190 yards.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, if I know I can't get there 190 yards, where is the best place I can go to give myself the best chance to get on in 2 from that 190 yards?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think the whole world needs to think that.
Totally, right? But I mean, for me, and I just take from my personal experience, until I started actually thinking like that,
Yeah.
I was a 7-8 handicap forever.
Interesting.
Right. So I think if you can start to instill that, right, and you can you can make it fun.
Yeah.
Right. Or it's a game, like, you got to get X amount of points, right, and stuff like that. So, finding the right spot,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But also I think, so there's course management. And again, just finding a way to make sure that they encourage others out there.
Mm-hmm.
I find a lot of people, especially at that age too, sometimes we get caught up in ourselves.
For sure. Yeah, totally.
Everybody, but you forget to, just encourage your playing partners or the people you're out there with, right? Because I'm a big believer in that positive attitude and positive affirmation will, kind of carries you forward as well. If you have a couple bad holes, but you stay present in the moment and you understand what your playing partner is doing, that, it can kind of lift them up, but that may come back.
100%.
Right? That may, like, hey, really great up and down, right? So little things like that, like it's not a whole lot. There's swing development and building a foundation and all that stuff.
Well,
for me, those would be very important, and I think they're not really talked about.
Yeah, and you're right, because all that other stuff is that's common sense. Like, of course, they need to learn how to swing the club, right?
Yeah.
But they don't talk about that, right? And you're right, and that's something that I think a lot of juniors lack. Another thing I've heard from a lot of golf coaches is because of how the game has changed, they need to just develop as much speed as they can at a young age.
So I've read a lot about that too, where it's like some coaches will teach just speed right away out the gate, and then we'll figure out the fundamentals later.
Yeah.
Which I don't disagree with. I think speed can always come.
Yeah, for sure. Totally.
Right? Because
100%.
Somebody in their 50s come to you, and I know that you can get their swing speed up.
Yep, 100%. 100%. Yeah, there you go, 100%.
He worked his butt off, and swing speed up a little bit, right? And he's in his 60s.
Yeah.
I think the foundation of the golf swing is definitely more important than speed right away.
Interesting. I like that. Yeah.
Look at the ladies on the LPGA tour, right? Mm-hmm. They're, some of them are great athletes now, right? And they're hitting the ball 280, 285.
Oh, Nelly Korda, I think I was watching the Olympics. She was over like 300 a bunch of times.
She's insane. She's one of my favorite golfers in the world right now.
Oh, she's awesome. Yeah.
To watch. But, a lot of them just plot their way around a golf course. Next time, if people watching, like, you're lucky enough to go to a tournament, whether it be, Mackenzie Tour event or PGA, LPGA, just watch how they play it. They just plot the way around the golf course. They don't, outside of the top players, A lot of guys are hitting it, and ladies are hitting it 250 to put it in the right spot.
Exactly. Rather than trying to go, not everyone's Bryson.
Yeah, that guy's on a different planet right now with this.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't think speed is all that, and I don't want people to think I'm saying, you know, speed's not important. Speed is important.
Yeah.
But speed within yourself and what you can do and your limits is important.
I think that's a good point too. I think a lot of people think that they need to swing out of their shoes all the time, but these guys like Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, that swing at 120 miles an hour effortlessly. So they're not swinging out of their shoes. If they swung out of their shoes, they'd swing at 140.
Because
right?
they go seek people like yourself.
Exactly.
Build those larger muscles and make them stronger.
Yeah.
To where they don't have to swing out of their shoes, right?
I love it. Okay, so that leads me right into the next part of this. Okay, so do you work out in the gym to get better for golf? I know you do. And how important is training for a golfer as we move into 2022 and moving forward in the future of golf?
Oh man, I think it's the most important. Like we are forever, you know, there's Gary Player who he was working out, he was bench pressing, push-ups, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But you look at him, like the guy is like 85, he's in phenomenal shape, and he still hits a good golf ball.
Yeah, 100%.
And to, you know, and there were guys working out and stuff along the way, but then you got to Tiger, right? Mm-hmm. Tiger, in my opinion, was the first real athlete to take on golf.
100%.
And I think, I mean, get off topic a second. I think Tiger, with his mindset, Tiger could have been a guitar player and been one of the best guitar players.
100%. I totally agree.
So, but as far as fitness goes, right, it's basically, it's almost like any sport really, but like I always like to compare stuff to like MMA, because if you're not in the gym getting better, right, your opponent is.
Yeah.
Somebody face down the road is probably in the gym that day. So when it comes to golf, like this is all part of your job now. If you want to be a better golfer, if you want to, you know, to play those 2-round events, right, and not feel like you just went through war the day before.
Yeah, so totally.
You need to be in the gym, and it's not about just getting stronger. It's about your body being able to recover better when you're in better shape, stuff like that, right? So, I mean, for me, with you, I became a better golfer. We did it last winter. I had a goal of getting 180 mile an hour ball speed with my driver. I did it.
Yeah, boom.
So, you know what I mean? But if you work out and you put the work in, especially in the gym, your results are there. You're not, you know, they're going to show up if you put the work in. So, I mean, I work out. I've been working out at home throughout the whole pandemic.
Yeah.
Nice enough to build me some good programs where I literally just could sit in the basement. Well, not sit, but get in the basement and do those workouts, right? And it made
for sure.
Coming out of lockdown, it made a big difference to the start of my season, because even though we really couldn't take full swings, my body was already in shape
and ready for the demand of it.
Exactly, right? So, I mean, I encourage everybody to get in the gym, and we're not saying get in the gym 5-6 days a week, right? Because I tell you straight up, I don't want to work out 5 days a week.
No, you told me that from the start. Yeah.
Or I want to do 3 to 4, and if I feel good, I'll do a 5th, right? Stuff like that. So any way you can get your body moving, elevate the heart rate, and you know, get your body in better shape for, like you said, the demand of just golf in general.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people think of golf as such like an easy sport, and it is an easy sport, but it is very demanding on your body. You're putting a ton of rotational force through your hips and spine, and you're slamming something against the ground every single time. So there's feedback, right, that comes with that. So I even look at the gym too as like, not even just as performance. I look at the gym as, like you said, Gary Player, longevity. Like if you're not in the gym, like when you look at the Masters and you see Jack Nicklaus and you see Arnold Palmer and Gary Player hit, and Gary Player hits the best shot, and I'm pretty sure he's the oldest.
Yeah, he might be.
Right? Or he's or like before Arnold Palmer passed away. Like, but do you know what I mean? Like, and then like that just tells you something right there. He's still doing it. Or look at someone like Bernard Langer.
Oh, you just took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. Like that.
He refuses to slow down.
Yeah, like
62.
I think, didn't he just beat his age or something? I thought he shot 61 or something, or 62 and something like that.
And you can even look at a guy like Stuart Singh.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
On the gym,
like he came back this year,
He won twice.
But even Phil Mickelson, has literally in better shape now than he was when he was in his prime.
Maybe in college.
In college, seriously, right? And like that's why he just won a major. Like, and it's like it's changed for the better because of Tiger Woods, and it's only just going to continue to go up, right? And I think that the more people buy into it, the better.
For sure. And I think we chatted about this, but I really, and I still do believe this, and I mean it when I say this, people like yourself are going to be able to become PGA of Canada professionals, but fitness professionals. I
hope so.
Down the line, I hope sooner than later, because it's a big aspect of golf now. And like, there's a lot of private courses that I know that have these workout facilities.
Yeah, no, there is. The top-notch ones do.
Personal trainers to be in there, right?
Yeah.
So I know I've said that to you before, and it's coming.
It's in the back of my head. Trust me. Trust me. I know. Okay, so we're almost out of time, so we got 2 more minutes here. Okay, so I want to know 2 things. Who's your favorite golfer ever, and what's your favorite golf movie ever?
It's really hard for me to not say Tiger Woods. Like, you know,
say Tiger Woods.
Right, we grew up with him. Yeah, it's got to be Tiger. I mean, there's a lot of people I grew up watching that I really like. You know, I'm a lefty, so it's hard to not like Phil, Mike.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah,
actors, like a guy from Ontario.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
You know, a guy from Canada, just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Tiger's definitely number 1.
Right.
Favorite golf movie? I mean, it's hard to not go Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just, it never gets old.
No.
There's the best.
Did you ever play any of those courses out west that they were filmed at?
No. I think one's called like Furry Creek or something.
And the other one's Swanee Set. I played Swanee Set.
Did you? Yeah. I never really made it that far out there, but no, that was okay. So Tiger Woods, Happy Gilmore.
I would say that would be me too. So we would agree. Okay, Matt. So where can people get a hold of you? If they want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you? And I'll put this in the description.
Yeah, for sure. So the best way to do it is just, my Instagram, Cupido Golf. You can catch me on there. We kind of chatted about it going forward. I'm looking to do some more videos, stuff like that. But, I'm always open for lessons, and outside I'm going to be doing stuff till the end of the season, and then we're moving inside. But that would be the best place to catch me right now. And then from there, we can start talking some more.
Amazing. All right. Well, thanks a lot for doing this, Matt. It was nice to catch up. Yeah, you too, buddy. And we'll talk again soon. Okay.
All right, man. Take care.
Bye.